Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great pleasure to be with you in these interesting times. We say that Iceland, it's about time, and it's about time that you learn a little bit more about Iceland. I am working for Promote Iceland, which is the official tourism promotion agency of Iceland, and not only tourism, but it is all trade that we have are responsible for promoting, both goods and services. Our key message is that Iceland is a sustainable destination, and we have been entrusted to ensure that there is sustainable growth of Icelandic tourism in all regions by quality and professionalism. Iceland, as the name implies, looks something very cold, very frozen. But in reality, Iceland is quite green. It is only the glaciers that are covered with ice during the winter time, but the rest of the year, the temperature is quite mild. We have an average January temperature of just around 1 degree, or maybe just under freezing. But then again, we have cool summers. We have 10 degrees. We had a very hot day yesterday, and it was all the way up to 16 degrees. And that is considered relatively warm. Iceland is 103,000 square kilometers in size, which is just a tiny state in India, and the population of 360,000 people is just a small city block in Mumbai, I believe. We here in Iceland speak the old Icelandic language, the Old Norse language Icelandic, which is the same language that was spoken all over Scandinavia 1,000 years ago. But fear not, we have excellent knowledge of English, and practically everyone speaks fluent English, so there is no problem in getting around. Our capital city, Reykjavik, is where more than half the population lives. We have our own currency, the Icelandic krona, but anyone who travels to Iceland finds it much more convenient to use the local or the international currencies of Visa and MasterCard, which are accepted everywhere in the country, and you can pay practically for everything with credit cards. We are very well, or we used to be very well connected with flight connections both from the US and from Europe. We had in the heydays when everything was running when everything was running according to custom, then we were seeing up to 90 cities connected directly to Iceland with the direct flights. We had even for a short period in the beginning of last year, we had direct flights from New Delhi to Iceland. But that unfortunately did not last long, as the airline went bankrupt. We will have to see how general travel will start, but I am confident that we will see at least flights from all major cities in Europe to Iceland, and then it is very easy to continue onwards to North America.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. We have a direct. We have one stop flight from India, from Delhi itself. That's a Finnair via Helsinki.
Yeah, it is. One stop is very easy via Helsinki, Stockholm, Oslo, Copenhagen, or any of the major airports in Europe. They are all,
yes, sir.
directly into Iceland. So getting to Iceland, and it's only 3 hours from most cities in Europe, and then 5 hours onwards to the east coast of the US. But why should you be inspired by Iceland? Why is it that you should be fascinating with our tiny country out there in the middle of the North Atlantic? One thing is, of course, the adventure, the activity, and the things that you can experience, whether it are swimming in the glacial rivers or jumping into the glacial rivers, ice climbing, or horseback riding, or doing all these interesting activities that we can offer. And what is more, these activities, they are extremely accessible. They can be reached from the capital area in just an hour or two. So you can load up on a whole day, and you can try extremely different things that you would like that you can try and experience. Then it is the food. We are blessed with having abundance of raw materials, both from the land and from the sea, coming fresh directly to our tables. And we have, because of our geothermal energy, we have greenhouses that are producing fresh vegetables and fruit all year round. We have, although our traditional dishes are mainly lamb and fish, then we have now incredible selection of vegetarian food. And I can assure you that all restaurants now are offering vegetarian dishes, and they are, of course, very good coming from because we have access to these good produce all year round. And that is this clean source of energy that we have. We are blessed with geothermal energy in coming straight out of the ground, piping hot water. And this we can use both to heat our houses, heat our swimming pools, generate electricity. So all electricity in Iceland is produced with renewable sources, either the hydropower from the waterfalls or the steam from the hot springs. And another source in that is also that we have the wellness. We have both swimming pools, spas, and it is a national pastime in Iceland to go swimming. One of the most difficult things with the restrictions that were put upon us with during the pandemic was that for a month's period the swimming pools closed, and that found many people being very difficult. So once the swimming pools opened again, then everybody were happy, because it is a very strong part of our culture to enjoy this beautiful hot bath, and also it is good for your health and exercise, whether it is in a regular swimming pool or whether it is in natural hot pools that we have scattered in the nature all around the island. And then there are quite a lot of events and festivals that we can have all year round. We have activity, music, and cultural festivals, literature. Iceland is among the most literate nations in the world. We are practically with every other Icelander has either published a book or is about to publish a book. So we do a lot of reading and are very fond of our books and publishing. To make everything safe, we have several points that we can use to make your travel both safe and good. We have an official quality and environmental certification, which is called Viking, and if you look for that symbol, then you can be assured that we have tested and certified travel service that is running along the highest standard in the world. We have also safetravel.is, which is the official source for safe adventure. There, for example, if you are inclined to go hiking into the Central Highlands, the uninhabited Central Highland of Iceland, then you can log into Safe Travel and give your travel plan so that you can you can be located if there is need. And as well, then there is in Safe Travel a lot of information coming regarding road conditions and weather conditions. That is one of the things that is very important to have in mind when you're traveling in Iceland. That is that weather conditions can change very drastically in a very short time. For us here at Promote Iceland, we have our travel trade toolbox. Let me dwell on this for a minute. If you go into traveltrade.inspiredbyiceland.com, then you are accessing our travel trade toolbox. There you have all sorts of information that you can use in order to make yourself a better salesperson for Iceland. There is foremost the Inspired by Iceland certified program, where if you are selling Iceland and if you are offering Iceland on your webpage, then you can go and have a look at the or work through the training program, the Inspired by Iceland Specialist program. You need to study some material, then you have to take an online exam. And if you qualify and if you clear that exam successfully, and as I say, and are visibly selling Iceland, then you can become a certified Inspired by Iceland specialist. There are several companies already in India that are selling Iceland, and I strongly recommend that you try to become an Iceland specialist. And of course, the best way of becoming a specialist in Iceland is to visit Iceland and learn from firsthand how Iceland is as a destination. That is a very key thing. But other things that we have on our webpage are toolbox, where we have a picture bank and video and webinars and all sorts of tools that are helping you to sell Iceland. But as I say, there is no substitute for the real experience of visiting Iceland. We have very occasionally had farm trips organized, but they are all being reconsidered in these unprecedented times. Among the things that we have in our toolbox are webinars, short video introductions which introduce the different regions of Iceland, showing you where the major attractions are, what to do, and how it is important to study and learn about the different regions of Iceland. But the key aspect of our tourism business is that we want to have it sustainable and responsible. We have a very fragile nature because we are living here on the edge of the we are sort of on the Arctic edge, so therefore we have a very fragile nature, and it is very important that our visitors, they consider this and behave responsibly. Among the things that we have made for people to be aware of that is the Icelandic Pledge, where people who are coming to Iceland, they promise to behave responsibly, and they pledge to leave places as they found them, to take photos to die for without dying for them. They will not venture off the road and only park where they are supposed to, use designated campsites, make use of the toilet facilities wherever they are, and heed advice of the authorities. So if people behave sensibly in the Icelandic nature, then they will be repaid by beautiful nature that is always changing. So we say it is about time. This time of year is, of course, a fantastic time to visit Iceland because we have nearly 24 hours of sunlight. You have amazing long time that you can travel and visit, but in the other end, then in November, December, then there is less daylight, but you have then the fantastic auroras or northern lights that come instead and become very that are very attractive. These are, of course, a natural phenomenon, so they cannot be promised to anybody, but with a fair piece of luck, then you should be able to enjoy it. I think the key things that here I finally would like to say that the Indian market should be aware of, then number one is that the food is very good. There are there's a high selection of vegetarian restaurants that are available and serving excellent food. The other thing is that although the accommodation in Iceland is from our point of view first class, it is we have abundance of very good hotels, then simply because of the how few we are not having the same amount of labor as maybe the Indian visitor is used to. There are not 20 bellboys running around in the hotel lobby, so you will have to expect a slightly different level of service, but the quality and the cleanliness of the hotels are absolute first class. So Iceland is different from India in many aspects, but it is as equally welcoming. And I welcome you all to Iceland, and am I now looking forward to hear questions and see what I can help you with if there are specific questions that you have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the wonderful presentation. We have some questions. May you please switch off the share? Yes, yeah. We have a question from Mr. Bansal. He's asking, Iceland has days with 24-hour light for months. So sleeping would be a problem. So what is the best time to visit Iceland?
Every time is a good time to visit Iceland. Sleeping is not such a problem. You can have like these masks like you use when you're traveling in an airplane. That is one way of doing it. The curtains of the hotel rooms are quite thick and good. So that is not a problem, and you can, the best time to visit Iceland totally depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for the northern lights and the auroras, then you have to come in the wintertime. If you're looking for the midnight sun, then you have to come in the summertime. Each season has its own speciality.
His second question is Jökulsárlón Glacier, Seljalandsfoss waterfall, Zokofoss waterfall. How to travel these places and which time visit?
The large waterfalls are several of them are on the south coast, accessible by bus or by private car in maybe 2 hours. To the large glaciers on the south coast, it's around.
For glaciers, I think we use monster truck.
Yeah, it is. They are between 3 and 4 hours. It's all available or accessible via day tours.
Mr. Yesh is asking, what are the provisions in terms of COVID-19 quarantine?
We are expecting to have these guidelines published, preferably today. But at the situation that we have at the moment is that from 15th of June, 15 June, then every visitor that comes to Iceland will be open for visitors from the 15th of June. Providing 3 parts, as I understand it at the moment. Either people will bring with them a certificate of test from their home country, not more than 3 days old, or they are subject to a test on the airport, which will have a result in less than 5 hours. People just take the test, go to their hotel and wait and have the result in 5 hours, and then they know if they can continue, or they can quarantine for 2 weeks if they don't have a certificate and they don't want to take a test on the airport. Then they will have to quarantine for 2 weeks.
Okay, sir. Can you tell me about the visa and is the dollar we can use? Their currency is krona. Iceland krona.
Yeah, Iceland krona is our local currency, but everything is
for visa.
Payable.
For visa, you need a Schengen visa.
Yes, a regular Schengen visa is necessary. You can obtain that in the Icelandic embassy in New Delhi. There we have an embassy which is issuing visa for Indian citizens. And they have as well connection with some visa handling companies that can assist you. I just visit the website of the Icelandic Embassy in New Delhi, and there you will find all the necessary information regarding visa. If you have a regular Schengen visa already, then there is nothing stopping you from coming to Iceland.
Thank you, sir. And one more question. Is north to south connected by roads or flights have to be taken? Second, self-driving option available? Yes, self-driving option is available. Is Indian driving license is valid in Iceland?
Indian driving license is valid in Iceland. There is a ring road running around the coast of Iceland, connecting all parts of Iceland. So, and that is a asphalt road which is accessible all year round. And so it is 1,500 kilometers long, and it takes you 8 hours to drive. If you drive steadily from one corner of the country to the other is 8 hours. So technically you can drive around Iceland in something like 16 to 20 hours if you do nothing but driving. But I of course strongly recommend that you have some stops on the way. As well, there are domestic flights which are connecting the largest cities outside the capital area, and the flying time by domestic flights is between 35 and 55 minutes to these various places, all very easily accessible, and there is as well a network of scheduled buses. The Central Highland, on the other hand, is only accessible by regular cars only accessible in the height of summer, but then only by four-wheel drive vehicles, as there are unbridged rivers in the Central Highland.
One more thing I wish to tell everyone that there is a highest speed in Iceland. It's 50 km/h. Right, sir?
Sorry, can you repeat?
The highest speed in Iceland, you can drive the car in 50 km/h. Yes, sir?
It's 90 kilometers an hour. 90 kilometers is the maximum speed limit for the best roads. If it's an asphalt road, then you can drive up to 90 kilometers, 80 kilometers on the gravel roads.
Okay. And people are asking how many days or nights required to explore Iceland. Also, it's suitable for honeymooners.
Iceland is, of course, very suitable for honeymooners. Coming from India, I would not start by nothing less than 5 days. It is you need 5 days to start to begin to enjoy Iceland.
Yes, yes.
Lot of people do
yes.
2 weeks.
If you wish to see the glaciers, ice caves, I think so. Minimum you need 8 nights in Iceland. Yeah, right, sir?
8 nights is a good time.
Yes. Any other questions, please?
I would of course advise everybody to Google or see on YouTube the Shah Rukh video from Dilwale, which is filmed in Iceland. And,
yes, I have shared this that video with them. If you see that video, you will see each and every itinerary over there. The first shot start with the black sand beach, and it comes to waterfall, then glaciers. So each itinerary is covered in that song. I think so. You must see that song.
Yeah, and the amazing thing is that all of the locations that this video is shot on, they are within 2 hours drive of each other. They can all be reached within 2 hours.
Any other questions? I think questions are over. So can we
Yep.
sign off the things?
Yeah, we can. We are. I think we are quite good, and I just want in the end to remind people that to visit the Inspired our travel trade page and make sure that they are dealing with people who have good experience in Iceland and have experienced Iceland themselves. That is the best way.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, first of all, for your prestigious time. And
Thank
it
you.
was really a pleasure for us, and everybody is saying thank you. And it was a very informative and wonderful presentation from your end, sir.
Thank you,
Most
sir.
welcome. Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Dear participants, I just want to share my screen for 1 minute. Hopefully you are able to see my that's a screen. If you see, whenever I share my link, that bookbizflight.com webinar events, you will find this page. You will find the event calendar. You are already seeing that we are updated that Iceland tourism is going on. Then tomorrow, day after tomorrow, then after tomorrow. That these are the like scheduled webinars. And here, this is the register now button where you have to register yourself. Then afterward, if you missed any part of the presentation, we will upload this presentation after this presentation is over. Here you can click that YouTube channel button, then you will go to the YouTube link. Hopefully everyone is clear with this thing. So from my side also, sign off. It's time to sign off and say stay safe and goodbye everyone. Thank you, Mr. Johnson, again for being with us.
Yep. Thank you.